Yo, what is up, guys? This is Rise, and welcome to another video. And today, we are going to showcase the team that I used to hit the legend rank in the Go Battle League in here in Season 14. And the team consists of Shadow Charizard, Registeel, and Trevenant. And it put in so much work for me. And I really highly recommend you try this team yourself and see if it works as well for you. But kind of the whole thought process behind the team is Charizard tended to get me a lot of great leads. And even the leads that weren't so good, like Walrein, for example, you can kind of put the pressure on and maybe go for shield advantage. This time I played a little differently. A lot of times I go for shield advantage. This time I go for switch advantage. So I do double shield and I go for the Dragon Claw here. I'm hoping this will be enough if it lands, and it is enough, so that's really good for us. And just like that, we have switch advantage, and if they don't have a hard response to Charizard, like, even though we went down a shield, Charizard's likely going to get the shield right back. So we had to go down a shield, but we get the shield back, so now we're in a great spot. We have the alignment that we need. Registeel onto Noctowl, Trev on Toxicroak, and GG's to Harjefe, who's a former regional champion, one of the best players from Brazil. And yeah, in this season, by the way, guys, took me a while to hit legend. There have been seasons where I've been like one of the first handful of people to hit it, and this season they're probably good, I don't know, 1,000 people have hit it already before I finally hit it. So you never know what's gonna happen. The season part of it was me kind of struggling through the Master League, since I don't really have Master League mons, and that caused me to tank a lot of elo. But you just gotta keep pushing. And I was getting a lot of comments in my stream chat because they saw me in the 2900s a while ago, and then when I fell so far, everyone was like, "Rise, what happened? What happened?" It was like impossible to conceive that I had dropped several hundred elo points during the Master League. But as I like to explain before, it wasn't necessarily intentional tanking. It was consensual tanking, because I knew if I was running level 40 mons in the Master League, I probably wasn't going to win too many games. But here we are in game number 2. And before this set, I actually had a 5-0, which put me at 2968. So the 5-0 put me in a solid position to potentially set myself up for legend. We do get hard punished by the knock after catching a move from the DD. But the one positive here is our moves from Trevor at least going to get knock into Zap Cannon range, well within Zap Cannon range. I'm hoping knock doesn't get to 3 Shadow Balls here. That'd be pretty brutal. I'm hoping it only gets to 2. But I don't know, man. It's going to be close. It might get to 3 Shadow Balls here. That'd be pretty rough. There's 2 Shadow Balls. And, okay. We get off the Zap before 3, so that's something. We still have a shield, but he still has a DD. And I kind of had lost track of energy at this point, so I was a little bit concerned about that. And it comes his own Charizard, and I think I really throw this game here, because I think if I had Blast Burned, I could have farmed down and potentially clawed. But in my head, I think in the moment, I was thinking Blast Burn wouldn't do enough, where I would just get like Wing Attack down. But it probably would have. I probably could have, yeah, Blast Burn, farmed down Dragon Claw to DD. So I think that was a very winnable endgame, and I just kind of misplayed. And that's partial, like, inexperience of running Shadow Charizard. I've run it pretty sparingly. Probably like the second or third day I've been running Shadow Charizard. And here we go into the next battle. So we're currently 3-1 this set. A win here might secure legend. And what do we see in the lead? It's a Charm 9. Good lead for us. I go for the bait right as I reach Blast Burn here. And I successfully get the bait. I'm just going to go for the Blast Burn here. I guess I could have gone for the double bait, but I didn't want to be too greedy. As long as I got both shields, I felt like I was in a pretty good spot. Because even though he's going to win switch advantage, Reggie's going to absorb all this energy, and he swaps into Medi. And at this point, I'm like, that A9 has a boatload of energy. I want to make sure I come out of this matchup with at least a Seed Bomb. So that's why you see me approach it the way I do here. I don't throw. I actually let him get to another, which is, I don't know, debatable if that's the right play. Because theoretically, if I threw, maybe I would have just used the shield on the A9 instead. But I get a full farm down. I have 100 energy. And in comes Obstagoon. I'm like, okay, this is a little awkward. This is a wee bit awkward. I throw both Seed Bombs, which will clear up my switch timer. And then I switch, and I'm like, maybe I should have thrown my Seed Bomb instead, because I could have got to that third Seed Bomb. But I switch. I'm expecting him to catch. And that way I'm just going to build up a little bit extra energy, since I'm not threatened by this energy from A9. He throws the Psyshock, which tells me, oh, okay, like he probably doesn't have another move then. So I'm just going to throw this because I feel like I can get to a Focus Blast here before Goon takes me out. I feel like I definitely live a Cross Chop from this amount of health. And Reggie's so beefy. Cross Chop doesn't do that much, despite being super effective. And Mr. Regis still goes beat beat. Gets the Focus Blast, knocks out the Obstagoon. And oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Alert the sirens. Start the party, start the parade in the streets. Celebration underway. We won the championship. No, just kidding. But that should secure the legend rank. We're admiring this Wingull for some reason. Okay, now we're transferring it. And then, what's it gonna be? 30-14 to hit legend. Let's go. End the video. Just kidding. It doesn't stop there because this team, dude, keeps on climbing like crazy. And it is kind of funny. Oh, I think I'm going to show off the pose here. It is kind of funny how I could be stuck in the 28, 2900s for like a good week. And then suddenly I end up going 20-5 on the day. Just absolutely nuts. Altaria lead. I should get to 2 claws here. So I should at least be able to force a shield off of Alt. Let's see how this plays out. They smartly throw before I get to my second. That way they get a shield back here. I throw another claw. I think if I had like a really good Shadow Zard, I should be able to get to this third claw here. But you're going to see I just barely don't get it. I think a really good Zard gets there. Maybe I'm wrong. They swap in G-Fisk. Kind of weird. I go for the Blast. Since I know I can get there first. I go for a potential catch on EQ. My opponent doesn't fall for it. Nice patience by him. And at this point, I'm a little bit worried that it's like a Medi in the back. And I'm kind of just done for. But we're going to play this out. Trayvon takes the Rock Slide. Gets off the Shadow Ball. I think what awkward thing ends up happening is... I forget what's in back. These battles were literally yesterday, and I forget what's in back. I actually shield, and then he catches my Seed Bomb, but I was kind of okay with this because that Altair is going to get to a move anyway. I'm not expecting G-Fisk to come. It's Superior. It's a freaking Superior. Jeez Louise. And we get Leaf Tornado, and we get debuffed, dude. Brutal. Running Superior in the Open Great League. I respect it. Superior is kind of fun. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. It just doesn't have like the same benefits of Trev as being a grass type that can also beat the fighters. And it gets a little bit more walled by flyers. Well, I guess Trev does against Noctowl, but against other flyers, Superior is also walled. So we land 2 Focus Blasts. He swaps in Fisk. He Earthquakes. I'm hoping I can get the Shadow Claw down here. And I do. And I have the Seed Bomb loaded. And what looked like a pretty scary situation ends up being a few HP and a dream as the Seed Bomb connects and KOs. Let's go, dude. Let's go, Trayvon. That's my new nickname for Trevenant, sorry. It was Trevor. It was Tree. I like to call him Trayvon. Because he's a baller, man. And we're going for the next battle. I think I was just kind of celebrating that win. That was a pretty nice win. Also, in the comments, what do you think about this hat? What do you think about this hat here? I got this hat as a gift. And it says Mykonos on it. Anybody been to Greece, been to Mykonos? Have some good memories there, some not so good memories as well. But I really like the style of this hat, like the blue camo. Blue's probably my favorite color, if you couldn't tell with the stream layout, I guess, and the whole brand of the channel. But blue's probably my favorite color, and I like camo stuff as well. So I like the hat. If you want to comment, Rise, that hat's pretty dang cool. I wouldn't mind it. I'd appreciate you. Okay, another Charm 9 lead. This is a Shadow Charm 9, so I believe no matter what, they're going to Charm down before Charizard gets to 3 moves. If I double bait, maybe, but I don't think so. I don't think if I double bait, I still get to a Blast Burn, maybe a 3rd Claw. So I get Shield advantage. I come in Reggie. He lets A9 go down. He comes in Medi. I swap Trev, and I'm met by a Basti. And at this point, I'm thinking, oh, okay. I just expend my shield here on Trev, and Trev should be able to sweep, because Trev, I think, loses to Basti in the 0s and the 1s, but wins the 2s, and also wins if you're up a shield. So correct me on that if I'm wrong. Maybe Basti wins the 2s, I forget. But Trayvon lands the Shadow Ball and gets the farm down. And then we're going to Shadow Ball Mr. Medicham. And this should nearly knock out from full health. Boom! Puts it into the red. We swap Reggie, which is kind of unnecessary. I probably could have just Shadow Clawed down. So I'm not sure why I did that, to be honest. But I think it's just a force of habit. Like when you're low and you think you're just going to get farmed down, you just swap into the other Pokemon. And luckily Reggie was healthy enough where it didn't matter. That could have been a little devastating if we gave him a perfect farm down. But we'll take it, bro. And it's on to the next one. Not familiar with this opponent. Dunsparce, tough lead, bit of a core breaker. I swap Reginald, and he stays in. So that's something, at least, that he doesn't have a hard check to Reggie. But yeah, Dunsparce beats Charizard and beats Trevenant, so a bit of a core breaker for our team. Focus Blast coming through, lands. That's really nice. He's going to throw another Drill Run at us. I'm still not going to shield because the fast moves aren't very threatening. We're not at risk of getting farmed down. I let in a free rollout there via bad timing. I probably didn't need to throw at that point, so bit of a misplay there. In comes Frost, and this is a little scary because he does let me get off the Zap, which I do like here. He lets me get off the Zap, and I don't want to get completely Powder Snowed down, so I aggressively swap in my Charizard, and I'm fully willing to double shield here. If he wants to stay in, expend all this energy, I'm fully willing to double shield. I figure with a Dunsparce lead, that might be his best Charizard answer. So I double shield, over farming a lot. Really hoping that this Claw KOs if it goes through. It looked like a CMP there, but apparently it wasn't. And then it's Charm 9 in the back. And at this point, I'm feeling pretty good, because I should get to 2 Blast Burns here before Charm 9 gets to a move. And this was a pretty weird game because someone in the chat was like, how did you not reveal the last Pokemon and 3-ball flex against that lead? And I don't know. Sometimes the games just go that way. It was a bad lead, but then he didn't have an answer to our swap, and our swap put in a lot of work. And then once the lead was out of the picture, our Charizard put in a lot of work. So, yeah, it looked like a terrible lead for us, but that's why you play the game, right? It's like in sports. We saw Farley Dickinson upset Purdue this year. 16 seed that wasn't even supposed to be in the NCAA tournament against the #1 overall seed. And they pulled off the upset. So there's a reason they play the game. And they don't just say, oh, this team's in a good position or this team's better. There's a reason they play the game. So I got the shield in this one with the Dragon Claw. And then I swapped Trev. And the reason being is because Reggie has no fast move pressure on D-Knight. So I figured I could secure switch advantage by coming in with Trev here. And in comes Altaria, so it's double Dragon. I'm already forgetting what the lead was, but I think it was something... Was it like a fighter? It was something that like both Zard and Trev were good against, I remember. And now I can just simply wait out my switch timer. I can eventually come in with Reggie. And it's Registeel was the lead, yeah. Okay. And as long as we're quick enough to swap here, we should outpace Reggie to 2 Blast Burns, and he shields the first. He'll probably go for the Zap Cannon to debuff us. Actually goes for the Focus Blast, makes sense, a little bit cheaper energy, hoping he can outpace, but he's not quite going to be able to outpace. And this Blast Burn will certainly one-shot. Boom! From Shadow Zard. Shadow Zard melting some steel. Melting some cast iron. And it's on to the next one. We're playing Zangoose 23. The goose is loose. Oh, the Zard Mirror. Okay, so this is interesting. Opponent goes straight for the claw. So I know it's a claw, right? But in my head, I'm thinking, if I don't shield this, he could simply shield and farm down, and that's really bad for my back line. So I do shield. He shields as well. The catcher is really obvious, but I kind of fall for it anyway. Trying to win CMP, so probably a pretty noob throw by me. Now he's expecting me to catch on 5, so he doesn't throw right away, which allows me to get off this Blast Burn. And then I go Trev, which is kind of nice for me, because now I've gotten his second shield. But that Charizard is still a threat for me because it has a Dragon Claw worth of energy loaded. So it's something I need to be a little bit concerned with. Going for the Shadow Ball, hoping this knocks out. And it does. He comes in with Trev, which I think is a bit of a misplay. If he had come in with Zard here, I think that would have made my life a lot more difficult. And now I'm thinking, how do I close this game out? I come in with Reggie because I figure Trev's just about in Zap Cannon range. And I feel like I have to save my shield here for the Shadow Zard's energy. I get off the Zap. This should knock out Tree. But this is a little awkward, right? That Zard has a lot of energy. And my Zard doesn't have energy. I end up catching. And check out what happens here. It's a Claw that I catch, but he undercharges beautifully. Undercharges beautifully, gets 3 extra wing attacks. I shield here. My thought process is I don't think he can get to another bait plus Blast Burn. But it's a CMP tie. Is this a Blast Burn or is it a Claw? And do we live a Claw anyway? We do. We hang on. And Registeel goes beep beep once again. And knocks out the Zard. Pretty crazy game there. That was a good one. Very competitive game. Lots of swaps and catches. And that is a 5-0 set for you. The Rise confidence is back. Oh, and there's Pika Libre. Unfortunately, no shiny. I believe this is my 12th Pika Libre. And no shinies to date. Unlucky. What's the shiny rate on Pika Libre? These are the things like I should probably know as a Pokemon goer. but there's there's still a lot of things that I don't pay as much attention to. Let me know in the comments what's the shiny rate on a Pika Libre. Zard versus Reggie. Love this lead because you outpace to Blast Burn, so like they can force both shields if they want, but you're going to come out of the matchup super healthy. So I really enjoy this lead. I think it's like a really dominant lead personally. I would prefer this lead over like a Trevenant lead, to be honest. And going for another Blast Burn. We get both shields. He's going to throw. We're going to match shields. We're double debuffed, so I wasn't 100% sure if double debuffed, if my Blast Burn would still KO from here, but let's see. Boom. It still does. Beautiful. What's going to come in? Basti. And here, I'm not going to give up Switch. This is like a bit of a... just kind of like a... I don't know whether to call it like advanced or basic, but like team reading. Bit of a team read. So like, when you see a Bastiodon, especially after a Reggie lead... it's probably a Medicham. It's probably a Medicham. People love to pair Medicham with Bastiodon. So what some people might do here when they see the Bastiodon, they might think, oh crap, I want to preserve my Charizard, so I'm going to swap out. And sometimes that may be the right read, but in this scenario, I simply just let it go down because I can align my Reggie with the Basti and my Trev with the Medicham that I'm expecting in back. So this isn't like, some things I like to say in coaching is PvP isn't like an exact science in this game, but sometimes it's just about making that recognition. Sometimes it's better to swap out, preserve a Pokemon. Sometimes it's better to just let it go down and keep your alignment. And this is a situation where I think it was a lot more straightforward, just keeping my alignment. If I had swapped out, could I have still won? Maybe. But I think it would have been a little bit close. And Mr. Bastiodon fighting till the bitter end. But Basti would need like 2 flamethrowers to take out Reggie from here. And I respectfully zap cannon. I think I was trying to have it not KO and lock on down, but it KO'd. Bit of a bad undercharge by Rise. Bad undercharge. Next battle, here we go. The new pose reminds me of the like, now watch me whip, now watch me nay. That's what this pose reminds me of, but I know that's not what it's supposed to be. What is he doing? Is he just like showing you a Pokeball? Boom. Oh, I just hit the mic, sorry. RIP. Battle starting. Minako. Okay, A9, let's see if it's Powder Snow or Charm this time. Powder Snow this time. So the way I've been playing this is I typically have just been playing the Zero Shield scenario. As we're leaderboard climbing, I'm going to be giving away my secrets of how I play certain leads against people. But I just play the Zeros, I get the shield advantage, and I come in Reggie, and then they're inclined to swap out. And oftentimes, Trev can be a really nice punish to what they swap. He lands the Psychic. That's kind of rough for me. I throw here on what's probably a power-up punch. So shooting that first Psychic would have probably been ideal, but I knew A9 had energy. And I'm 1 off Shadow Ball, so I figure, you know what? I'm going to shield to get off this Shadow Ball. And either he lets it go, and I see what's in back and go from there. Or he commits his last shield. He lets it go. It's G-Fisk. I save the Seed Bomb. And I go for the Zap Cannon here, expecting the shield. Him knowing this will do the most damage out of anything. And he calls my stinking Zap Cannon. Like, what the heck? Those are the type of plays where I'm like, is this person watching? I don't know. But that just seemed like a crazy no shield to me. Unless he was thinking that was a possibility. The only logical explanation I could think of is he thinks he lives the Focus Blast with enough health where he's not at jeopardy of getting fast moved down. And, or maybe he thought I might zap there. But what ends up happening here is pretty wild. We're really low on Reggie, but remember, he is debuffed because of the Zap Cannon. He called, we live the Rock Slide with 1 HP. And Reginald gets off the Focus Blast. Boom. If he had just Earthquaked there, I think he wins the game because I don't think my Trev lives 2 mud shots. My Trev was super low and would have needed a Shadow Ball. So I think him going for EQ just kind of secures the game there. But my Zap Cannon probably made it closer than it needed to be. Because I had a big energy lead on Reggie. So, like, I could simply have just gotten to 2 Focus Blasts and then thrown the Seed Bomb, I'm pretty sure. So I kind of unnecessarily threw the Zap Cannon, trying to be cheeky. So I kind of threw the game, and then he kind of threw it back. Those games happen sometimes. Those are tennis games. Let's see. Next battle here. Tough lead into Jelly, the Jelly Meister. We're going to swap Reggie. We're met by D-Knight, and I was like, okay, this isn't that bad. And check out what ends up happening this game. This game's kind of wild. I get a shield. I get the debuff. I'm expecting him to throw a superpower here. But no, he lets me get to another zap. I'm like, what the heck? I don't get a debuff that time. Ooh, I actually forgot about that. Maybe I would have entertained shielding. He's superpowered, so he's down 2 shields. But he's got lots of energy on this dragon. I like to let one go here. It still hurts. In comes the Jellymeister. I gotta shield something at this point. It's a very nice surf bait by the opponent. I'm gonna go for the Shadow Ball here to make sure I knock out the Jelly. Seed Bomb probably does around 50%. And it's a Goon in back. And I'm like, oh, crap. Because that Dragonite is also still lurking with a Dragon Claw banked, I believe. So this is not looking too good. He CMPs me here. And I don't feel like I can shield. Because if I shield, I just get combo played. And also Goon has 2 Night Slashes loaded. Yeah. So this game's just over. And here, I'm actually going to anticipate the combo play. So I throw my Claw immediately. But because of the 0-turn swap, Dragonite's going to win CMP here. So even though we correctly anticipated the combo play, was not enough. Really interesting team by the opponent. And it worked out well. They kind of instant lose to Charm. Like, that was... Wait, what was that again? It was Goon. It was Goon, Dragonite, and what was the third? Jelly. So I guess Jelly is their Charm answer. Charm in the back is just kind of tough. Reggie into Azu. Tough lead. I'm going to safe swap my own Reggie. We're met by a Goon. Not ideal. But I did play this team earlier in the stream, I think. Wait, did I? No. I think I played this team the previous day on stream. Is that when I played it? Oh, I'm losing my mind. Maybe this is the first time I played it, and I play it again after. We'll see. No, this is definitely the second time I played it, because the first time I played it, they called my Zap Cannon bait like a savage. So this time I just play it safer. I go for the double shield advantage. I come in with Zard. They swap out Azu, and at this point I'm thinking, okay, maybe I can sweep here with my Trev, because the last team I saw with Azu Goon was Lantern and back. Crazy ABA water team. I shield the Ice Beam. I'm building up energy with Trayvon. That Goon does have a lot of energy, so that is concerning. I throw here on CMP. The C-Bomb should be enough to KO from here. Bop. Bye-bye. Mr. Azu. Or Miss. C-Bomb coming through. We should need 2 of them to take out Goon from here. I'm going to shield. I kind of lost track of Goon's energy, but he gunk shots me. He gunk shots me. What the heck was that? Bro, I don't think Night Slash would do that much less than gunk shot, so I was kind of shocked by that play. And then they just top left. I don't know what was going on there. I think he was just going for the style points. Or maybe in his mind, I would let Trev go because maybe he thought that I thought because there was an Azu lead, he'd be weak to Zard in the back. So that's why he expected a no shield. Or maybe he was just trying to flex me on stream. I don't know. But we get the win. And I think we got one more battle for y'all. Let's do it. Or not. Let's do it. Isra Lopez. I recognize the name. Zard into Noctowl. Pretty neutral matchup here. Noctowl slightly outpaces. But I think the Sims will tell you Charizard wins this matchup. It is bait dependent. So you essentially have to land the Blast Burn to win this matchup. If they call a Claw, that's bad. If they shield a Blast Burn, that's bad. We make the correct flip of a coin. And in comes Swamp. And rather than like swapping out or anything, I'm just going to stay in here. I'm going to throw my Blast Burn. This will do a ton of damage. Gets a shield. And we're in a pretty good spot here. Because Swampert threw right away. And then we just have the alignment we want. So this is pretty straightforward from here. And our opponent recognizes that in top lefts. And you know, the most common question I got when running this team was, Rise, what do you do against a Swampert lead? How could you possibly beat a Swampert lead? And my response is, I don't think a Swampert lead is bad for Charizard. Like, Charizard just wins the 2s. Because you win CMP, the Wing Attacks chunk, and the Dragon Claws do as well. So, like, I don't know if Charizard beats normal Swampert, but I feel like you typically see Shadow Swampert in the Go Battle League. At least at, like, the higher ELO ranges, because people know you need Shadow Swampert to beat Noctowl. So I don't think Swampert's too much of an issue, because Zard does fine in the 2s, and Trev, of course, hard beats it. So I don't see Swampert as too much of an issue. I guess you could say it's an issue if you see it in the lead, because then they probably have answers for Trev in the back. So maybe that's more of a valid point, but I don't think Charizard versus Swampert lead is a bad lead for Charizard at all. So that's my thought on that. We ended at 31-22, I think, there, and I'm actually currently at 31-66 ELO. So, I mean, I always like to say when I hit Legend in a given season that if you're someone that's like struggling to maybe hit Ace rank or Veteran rank, always just try and beat yourself. It took us a while this season, right? I was getting a little bit stressed, but I wasn't too worried about hitting Legend, because at this point, I feel pretty confident that I can do it each and every season, even if I'm not one of the first people to do it. So it took me a bit compared to the usual, but I got there. And I think always just try and improve on yourself. We tend to compare each other a lot to others in this modern social media age, whether it's like on Instagram or your friend got a new job and you're still like looking for a job. Like, we tend to compare ourselves a lot, and comparison is the thief of joy, as they say. So you should really just be comparing you against yourself and trying to be the best version of yourself, and also be your authentic self. So all that said, a little bit of life talk at the end, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video featuring Shadow Charizard. We've been featuring him a lot on the channel, it seems like, lately. And the Legend run, 20-5 on the day. I got a 4-1 just now, so I could even say like 24-6, but I'll stick to 20-5. Over 200 points climbed in a single day. You never know when you're going to have those great days of GBL. And after being stuck in the same sort of range for a good week or so, boom, had a crazy 200-point gain in a day to push us over Legend. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Comment down below. All comments are appreciated. And that said, thank you once again for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.